Good evening, everyone. My name is Rob. I'm a former military guy turned entrepreneur and attorney. Now, when I say that I'm a former military guy, for those of you that don't know me, I'm a former major in the United States Marine Corps, and I've owned businesses in the past, and I'm a practicing attorney. So tonight we're going to be watching about 7 videos, and the first video, as you see here, is a psychologist, and he's going to talk about men and their relationship with women. And when you watch this video, think about think about whether or not what he is saying is true to you. And I'd like you to put in the comments whether or not you think what he's saying is true. Let's take a listen.
Men are functionally invisible.
So if you didn't catch the first part of that because it didn't sound very clear, he said most men are functionally invisible.
Both to other men and, more to the point, to women. The biggest risk a man can take in his life is not taking a risk.
So I'd like your opinion and put it in the comments. Do you think do you think that men are functionally invisible to women? I'd like to know your opinion on that. I'll give you my opinion, but let me see one thing here. Anyway, let's get to it. I wanted to sign into something.
If a man does not take a risk, the world passes him by. Take a risk. Most men.
So he's saying 3 or 4 things in this video. One is that most men are invisible to other men and to women especially. He's also saying that if you don't take a risk in life, that you're not going to get anywhere. I'd like to know whether or not you agree with that. If are men invisible to other men? Are men invisible to women? And in order to get ahead in life, do you have to take risks? Now, as I said in the very beginning of this live stream, let's take a look at what he's saying a little more deeply. He's saying
are functionally invisible, both to other men and, more to the point, to women.
So I think he could explain himself a little bit differently, a little bit more in depth, but that's what happens in videos. Think of this. Are most men invisible to other men? First of all, we'll take that up. Are you invisible to your father, to your brother, to your uncle? Are you invisible to your boss? Are you invisible to your friends? I would have to answer myself that no, I'm not invisible. I'm not invisible to other men if you count those men as the people that I might be invisible to. And you're probably not invisible to those people either. So right away, this psychologist is talking about men being invisible when they're really not invisible. Sometimes they might be invisible. We're all invisible sometimes. We all feel that way anyway. Now, the second point he's making is men are invisible to women.
The biggest risk a man.
Okay, so he says men are invisible to women. Again, think, is that a true statement? Are men invisible to women? Are all men invisible to all women? Again, think of your mother, your grandmother, your sisters, your aunts, people you work with, that you work with, women that you interact with. You're not invisible to women either. You're not invisible to all women, that's for sure.
Man can take in his life is not taking a risk.
So he's saying to take risks. Now to me, that's an absolute 100% good advice. Now he's not saying to take stupid risks. He's saying to take risks. And that means basically when you get up in the morning to take action. We're not talking about the types of risks where you're walking on a tightrope over Niagara Falls. We're talking about small steps to get you moving into the right direction. So little risk, little steps takes you in big, big directions.
If a man does not take a risk, the world passes him by. Take a risk.
So take a risk. I agree. Take action, take a risk. And let's look at the next video. And that would be this guy saying to be a man.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifice.
I think it's kind of funny. You see, I see this guy all over like Instagram and TikTok and sometimes YouTube. And take a look at this guy's, the chair that he's sitting in. I have chairs like that on my patio and my deck. It's kind of funny. But just look at the black and white for the black and white film that is put in here for to make you feel like he's like this old-fashioned guy giving you old-fashioned advice.
Make the unpopular decisions and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
So he's
You're
right
a
about
man.
that. He's
You
right
are a
about
man.
guys have to take responsibilities for their own actions. But more than that, we have to be comfortable in our own skin. We have to understand that we can control our emotions and control the thoughts that we have, or control our reactions anyway to the thoughts that we have. And because of that, that makes us kind of unique between male and female. Because as men, we're supposed to be in charge of our emotions. We're supposed to be able to regulate our emotions. So that's how society, that's how culture makes us feel anyway.
Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions.
Sometimes it's difficult to make decisions. As an attorney, and even as a Marine Corps officer, I had to make a lot of decisions. I still have to make a lot of decisions. And it's difficult sometimes to make decisions because you don't know if you're making the right decision. And it's kind of funny. A long time ago, I had a client, which I will not reveal. This was like a long, long time ago. And I hired a psychologist. And the psychologist was supposed to give me a report and let me know what was going on with her. The funny part about that, the ironic part about that report that he wrote was that it was his opinion that my client would make wrong decisions 50% of the time. That's basically 50-50, a coin toss. When I make a decision, I consume a lot of information before I make an important decision, whether it's for a client or anything else for that matter, if it's an important decision anyway. Even with consuming and just reading all that information, it still doesn't guarantee that I'm going to make the right decision. So when that psychologist said that my client had a 50-50 chance of making an incorrect decision, I think that was kind of overblown because we never know what outcome our decision is going to have. We hope it's going to be in the direction that we planned on, but it isn't always going to be that way because that's how life works. There's no certainties in life. Sometimes you can be pretty certain, but sometimes you just don't know. So he's saying to make the hard decisions, and that's true. As men, we do have to make hard decisions.
Sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin.
So become comfortable in your own skin. In other words, you're going to be making decisions. You're going to be making sacrifices. So men have to make a lot of sacrifices. For the most part, we're going out to work, we're supporting our families, we're making decisions in that regard, and we have to make sacrifices. So when our kids are in school or we're doing certain things that, that involve work, and we'd rather be out playing or doing something fun, in other words, we have to make those sacrifices.
The unpopular decisions and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
So be comfortable in your own skin is what he's saying. And we all have doubts. None of us are perfect. So he's saying to be comfortable in your own skin. It's easier said than done, but it's good advice. And let me see, the next video is going to be,
Why most women hate men.
oh, this is a good one. Why most women hate men. This is funny.
Why most women hate men in 2023. Most women are frustrated with the men.
It's funny, it's almost 2024, so I wonder if she thinks this will apply in 2024. But she's saying that most women are frustrated with men. It's like in the video that we saw at the very beginning. It's a big generalization to say that most women are frustrated with men. Maybe most women in her situation, whatever that might be, are frustrated with men, but not all women are frustrated with men. Maybe a lot of people are frustrated with other people. That would include men being frustrated with, it doesn't matter what your gender is. Sometimes we get frustrated
in the
easily.
dating marketplace of today. The primary reason is the prevalence of desperation among men. High-value women seek partners who are not desperate for validation. These men mistakenly believe that showering women with gifts, material possessions, or attention will win her affection. However, this approach often backfires. In the digital age, women receive overwhelming attention from men, many of whom come across as desperate. To stand out and make a positive impression, men must avoid being like the countless others and strive to stand out. Balancing pursuit and avoiding desperation is crucial for high-value men. It's about showing genuine interest while maintaining self-respect and individuality. By embracing their unique selves and avoiding desperation, men can increase their chances of forming long-term relationships. Remember, high-value women desire men who are confident and who are genuinely interested, rather than those who repeatedly chase after them.
So we'll listen to this video again, but I think it's kind of amusing that she's talking about what women are expecting from men. So this woman apparently can sit in her car and wait for some guy to shower her with attention, and she may or may not criticize that man for giving her or other women attention. First of all, again, most women do not hate men. Most women love men. For instance, mothers love their sons, aunts, sisters, bosses even. It's a wild generalization to say that most women hate men in 2023. It's not true.
Women hate men in 2023. Most women are frustrated with the men in the dating marketplace of today. The primary
Again, a wild generalization that most women are frustrated with men in the dating marketplace. I want you to take a look at this woman, and she's dressed nicely, her hair is done nicely, it's clean. She looks like she's in a nice car. She's probably scripted this video, and is she doing it for attention? I don't know.
reason is the prevalence of desperation among men. High-value
Are men desperate? That's what I'd like to know. In my circle, men are not desperate whatsoever. And
women seek partners who are not desperate for validation. These men mistakenly believe that showering women with gifts, material
showering women with gifts and material possessions. I think it's kind of funny that you would say that because who wouldn't want to be showered with gifts and material possessions? What guy out there wouldn't want to be showered with gifts and material possessions from anyone, whether it was in a dating relationship or any other kind of family relationship, work relationship? We all would like to be showered with gifts. And we would all like attention too, for the most part.
Material possessions or attention will win her affection.
So this is a type of thing where if you didn't give someone that you were interested in attention, or you didn't give her something to indicate that you were interested in her, like flowers, for instance, chances are that the woman would be mad.
However, this approach often backfires. In the digital age, women receive overwhelming attention from men.
So I think what she's talking about here when she talks about the digital age and women receiving overwhelming attention from men is that on dating apps, women receive overwhelming attention from men. And that's because there's more men than women on the dating app, not because there's more men than women in society. So if she's going on by dating apps, maybe they receive more attention than men. But if men want more attention, there's plenty of women out there. For instance, in Massachusetts, the demographics in Massachusetts where I live state that there's well over 200,000 more women in Massachusetts than there are men. So if you're talking about dating apps, that's one thing. If you're talking about the population in general, it's about 50-50 usually. Usually, from what I see, there's usually slightly more women around than men. So she has this wrong, except if she's talking about dating apps.
Many of whom come across as desperate. To stand out and make a positive impression, men must avoid being like the countless others and strive to stand out.
She's saying a bunch of different things that conflict in this video. She's saying not to shower women with attention or gifts. Then she's saying that men have to do something to strive and stand out. You don't have to actually strive and stand out because men are usually the gender people who go out and create. They make things, they build things, and just that in and of itself, to be able to provide, to be able to protect, to provide stability, to use your creativeness to make things. That's something that's a pretty good skill, and that's something that should make any man stand out.
Balancing pursuit and avoiding desperation is crucial for high.
There's no sense in being desperate. As I said, there's plenty of men. There's more women than men, so there's no need to be desperate at all.
Stand out. Balancing pursuit and avoiding desperation is crucial for high-value men.
But don't be desperate, that's for sure.
It's about showing genuine interest while maintaining self-respect and individuality. By embracing their unique selves and avoiding desperation, men can increase their chances of forming long-term relationships.
Increase their chances. She's kind of saying that it's like a gift, female gift that she's giving to all men by saying that men can increase their chances on getting into a long-term relationship. A lot of men don't want long-term relationships, so she's kind of telling this from the point of view of a woman. I think most men are looking for something that's shorter term.
Remember, high-value women desire men who are confident and who are genuinely interested, rather than those who repeatedly chase after them.
Well, she may not have that problem, huh? Because I don't see any. She's not saying that men are chasing after her.
14% of men are over 6 feet tall. 17% of men make over $100,000 a year. So 6 feet tall and $100,000 a year, it's 0.17 times 0.14. It ends up being like 3% of men or something like that, to 1 point, some ridiculous number below 3.
So I checked out those figures. Sometimes you watch YouTube videos and people in the videos will say something and it won't be true, but those numbers do add up. That's 3% of men are over 6 feet tall and make over $100,000. So I did just kind of rename my channel to not Tyrone, not Chad, not 6 feet, but better. So being part of the 98% of men, it's great. We have a chance to move up in the world. And since we're in the majority, to rule the world and do something great in life.
That's the number of men that are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. You're talking about hookup culture. The average man in the U.S. is like 5'9" and makes $49,000 a year.
So 5'9" and under is the average man. And he's claiming that that average man makes $50,000 a year. I'm hoping that the guys that watch this channel, the people who watch this channel, will soon be making well over $50,000 a year. Well, there's so many opportunities that I see that come across my desk, my computer every single day. And a lot of them have to do with artificial intelligence. It's like a whole new frontier that's opened up for us guys, a whole new frontier. Then we have quantum computing coming up soon that's going to open up a brand new world, a wave of opportunities for all of us. And I'm excited. And let's see what 2024 brings. But I'm excited about these opportunities.
Okay, that's what we're saying, is that the majority of men do not get to participate in this hookup culture. There's a small group of men that's happening for. And so when women are blaming them, yes, I understand that Brock the bartender, you friend, your sister, and other people, so you want to complain about him. Most men are not Brock the bartender.
Okay, most men are not the bartender. Okay. But most men are in the 98%, and that's probably you, and that is definitely a lot of people, a lot of guys. Let's see this next video. This is a computer
Buying a house?
video.
Shut your mouth. Buying a new car?
So I thought this guy was supposed to look like Warren Buffett, and it does look like him. We were just talking about artificial intelligence, and this was generated with artificial intelligence. It's talking about keeping quiet. I would really like to know whether or not you agree with this video about not telling anybody what you're doing. I see a lot of these memes on, especially Twitter, that say, don't tell anybody what you're doing. I'd like to know your opinion. I'm going to give you mine at the end of this video.
Shut your mouth. Getting married? Shut your mouth. Going on a holiday? Shut your mouth. Got promoted? Shut your mouth. 99% of the time, the reason that our dreams don't come true when they are supposed to is because we open our mouths too soon to...
That's not true. It isn't true whatsoever. It's a wild generalization. 99%, he says that 99% of the time, your dreams don't come true because you open your mouth too soon. That doesn't happen that way. 99% of the time, dreams don't come true because people don't take action. They get an idea, they dream about it, they think about it, and they don't do anything to put it into effect. That's 99% of the time. So you can keep your mouth shut 100% of the time, and that's not going to make your dreams come true.
We open our mouths too soon to the wrong people at the wrong time. We were wrong to share our successes with people who claim to be friends. Remember, envy and jealousy are enough for people to feed off of and tear down.
Yeah, I don't agree that envy and jealousy is going to stop. It shouldn't stop you from pursuing your dreams, from getting to the place that you want and getting to the place that you want in life.
Do you want to be the first millionaire in your family?
This is a good video.
Here are my 3 best tips to help you achieve it.
I like this video because this guy is an actual millionaire. And if you look at him, he's wearing a hoodie and he's wearing a casual jacket and he's walking along the street. And you wouldn't think if you walked by him that he was a millionaire. And that's how most people that are wealthy, that are rich are. They're not walking around, some of them are, but most of them aren't walking around in 3-piece suits all the time. They're walking around just like you and me in regular clothing. So he's going to give us 3 pieces of advice to get rich.
Number 1, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus that tell you need 20 to 50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit. Find a way.
I agree. Start investing early and often. And I did a video, I think it was yesterday, about this, about investing. And there's a book by an author named J.L. Collins. And he writes about how to become rich using the same idea that this guy is presenting to us. And that is starting to invest early and often. And you don't have to be a millionaire to start investing. You don't need $50,000. You don't need $100,000 to invest in something, let's say, like a Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. You can put a little amount in the mutual fund every week or every month. You should do it every week. And that mutual fund contains high value, great stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Google, all the top stocks. So you own a little piece of each of those excellent stocks. And over the years, that money grows and grows, it compounds, and you keep putting more money in, and that makes the investment grow even more. I could get into this even more because I really like it, but it's true. You can become rich. You're not going to become rich overnight, but you're going to have a lot more money in 10 years than you ever would if you didn't take any action at all. And if you keep it up over a lifetime, by the time you retire, you'll have a really, really good nest egg. And depending on how much you put in, it could be worth a lot of money.
To save $50 to $100 a week starting out and let compounding do the rest. And number 2, you have to change your mindset. When you get money, rather than thinking about what can I buy, think about how can I invest it.
So I like this. I like this when he says about the mindset, because most people will tell you mindset has to do with thinking positively, having these affirmations that are going to get you rich. They won't get you rich. But this guy's mindset, he's saying that don't be a consumer, be an investor, be a creator. Make things. Don't just sit back and buy things.
Number 3, swap out 3 time sucks. You know what they are. And use that time to learn 2 new skill sets. If you do this for 3 to 6 months, you can easily add 2 more income streams.
So if you do something like this starting off now in 2024, you're going to be in a better position than you are right now. Now, as far as eliminating time-wasting stuff in your life, I mean, if you're spending 4 hours watching television every day, or playing video games, or watching YouTube videos, or doing anything like that's just a waste of time, yeah. If you use that 4 hours, let's say an hour you go to the gym, an hour you plan out your day, you plan out your week, you plan out your month, you plan out fun events in your life, you use that to educate yourself, to read books, to learn how to invest, to watch videos and get advice from people that have already gone through what you want to accomplish. So you eliminate the time wasters in your life and you fill that time up with something that's going to make your life better.
and you'll be on your way. All right. So we have the plan. Let's go.
Let's go. Good plan. Simple, and it
Three
will work.
things rich people do that they do
This
not
lady-
want you to find out. Number one, we never pay full price. When you shop, consolidate with a store or one shop assistant.
So what I'd like you to look at is, look at the last video, if you remember what that guy looked like. And I was saying that I thought this guy looked like a normal guy. He's not dressing in a three-piece suit. He's not showing off his wealth. He's walking down the street. He has a hoodie on. And I know for a fact that the guy is wealthy. So, and now you're looking at a woman who's wearing a blue blazer. He's wearing fancy earrings. She has a fancy background in the video. She's leaning on looks like a wood desk. I don't know if it's mahogany or not. She's trying to make you think that she's rich. And let's see whether or not what she says compared to what the real rich guy says is really what's going to make your life better.
Things rich people do that they do not want you to find out. Number one, we never pay full price. When you shop, consolidate with a
I like how she says we. So the other guy didn't talk about we. She's talking about we in the sense that she's better than everybody else, or she's rich. She belongs to rich. He belongs to rich society. She sounds like she's trying to imply that
store
anyway.
or one shop assistant. That way, you make sure you get the best possible deal. Number two, go right to the top. When I go to a restaurant, I ask to speak to the maitre d'. When I go to a hotel, I ask to speak to the general manager. Why the maitre d'? Why not the waiter?
So she's talking about what rich people do. And the first point that she made was rich people try to save money by not paying full price. The second thing that she says is when she goes to a restaurant, she doesn't talk to who's ever at the front of the restaurant. She demands to speak to the maitre d'. So she's going to expensive restaurants. So why would she bother saving money at Costco? We're trying to save a few dimes and nickels by trying to get the lowest price when she's going to fancy restaurants that have maitre d's.
Because he's the person singularly responsible for making sure you have the best experience. Number three, we cultivate our relationships. So that maitre d', that general manager, that person who made sure I had a good time will receive a thank you note from me, a card at Christmas, a hello, how are you doing? Thanks again for all your help. I really appreciate it.
So she's not trying to necessarily network. She's saying that she's trying to, when she says we cultivate our relationships, what she means is she's trying to butter up the hired help so they'll give her better service. That's not how wealthy people act. That's how people that are not very humble act. And that's not going to get you very far in life. This last video is about abundance and an abundance mindset. And when I first saw it, I wasn't sure whether or not I agreed with it, but I want you to look at this and, let me know whether or not you agree with this woman's outlook on life. I think it's a positive outlook, and it may just help you out.
When you go to the grocery store and you spend $200 on groceries and it stresses you out and you feel like, damn, I just spent $200 on groceries. Well, no, you didn't. You spent $200 and you exchanged that energetic currency for $200 worth of health and wellness and nutrients. So every time I spend money, I'm not thinking like, wow, I just lost that on something. No, I traded it for something that's the equal value. And so by thinking about it like that, my abundance never lacks, right? It never goes away because whenever I spend money, I still have it. Yeah. It's everywhere.
It's a good point, and I like it because what she's saying is when you spend
When you
money,
go to the grocery store and you spend $200 on groceries and it stresses you out and you feel like, damn, I just spent
when you spend money, you're exchanging paper for something else of value. In this particular video, she's giving the example of spending $200 at the grocery store. And she thought it was a lot of money, but then she thought to herself that, wow, I did spend $200, but I got something of value because the food that I eat makes me feel good, makes me happy, makes other people happy that I'm feeding. It gives me energy. It gives her energy. So she uses that energy to turn around and make a video. She has enough energy to sit in front of the camera and think of a script. And she's using that energy to make money. So that $200 went into food, the food went into her. The food caused her to have energy, and the energy caused her to create, and the creation made her money on the YouTube video. So what she's saying is, you can't lose.
$200 on groceries. Well, no, you didn't. You spent $200 and you.
I'm going to end this tonight right here and on a positive note and say that have this mindset. It'll change your life if you think of money in